Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to give my prediction on the upcoming Mayweather-Pacquiao fight on May 2nd. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure you guys know that the fight everybody's been waiting for the past 5 years is going to be finally happening. And I'm very excited for it. I want to see what happens. Those are two legendary fighters, perhaps maybe not at their best. You know, when they should have been back in 2009 when the fight should have happened, but still good enough to kind of give us an idea of how the fight would have turned out regardless. I think even though they might not be in their tip-top prime, these guys are still the two top in the division. And that says a lot because these guys have been fighting Maidana, Timothy Bradley, you know, you name it, they've been fighting the best, and for them to be able to do consistently, even at this age, I think Mayweather is 38, and I think Pacman is 36, is pretty phenomenal. So anyways, with that being said, I have no dog in this fight, honestly. I think both fighters are great. Obviously, Manny has a great offensive tool set, or skill set, should I say, that he brings to the table. Underrated defense. Obviously, he got knocked out a couple fights ago against Marquez in their fourth fight. So a lot of people have looking at that and seeing if that's going to dig up any skeletons during this fight. And then obviously Mayweather brings a lot to the table as well. I mean, he's one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. I definitely put him in the same, probably a little bit better categories like James Toney and Mike Tyson, those guys. Obviously, Mike Tyson, everybody looks at him as a big heavy hitter and kind of just goes in there and massacres guys, but they always forget that Tyson was a very good defensive fighter that used head movement and was much shorter and didn't have the same reach as a lot of the guys in his weight class in the heavyweight division. So he had to use a lot of head movement and you know, be very evasive in the way he went about attacking people. So Mayweather's definitely up there, you know, with those guys, and being able to evade his opponent's attack, and then also use his footwork and head movement. And he's very precise. Obviously, he's a very accurate puncher. And I think he has underrated power. I think people look at him and say, well, you know, he doesn't knock people out very often, and which is true, because his style is more oriented and kind of picking up his opponent apart. And then if the knockout comes, then it comes. But his attack is not predicated on just trying to go in there and knock this guy out, period. It's predicated on winning the fight, and if the knockout happens during that period, then it happens. And I think that has to do with his defensive nature too, which is, you know, Floyd Sr. has taught him is, you know, if you don't have to get hit, don't get hit. You know, hit him, but if you can evade his attack, then what's the point of getting punched in the face when you can avoid getting punched in the face, which I agree with. So definitely that's what Floyd has going for him. I think he has underrated power. He has an underrated chin. He's gotten checked a couple times. I mean, he got checked in the Mosley fight a couple years ago when he got hit with that straight right from Mosley, and then he's gotten dropped by Judah during the Judah fight, you know, a couple years back. If you guys remember, he got hit with, I think it was a check hook that Judah hit him with when he was coming in. Obviously the ref looked at it as a slip, but it was actually, he actually dropped, his glove touched the mat. So Floyd can get touched, you know, I think every fighter can. It's just, you know, it has to be done by the right person with the right timing and the right amount of power to actually drop somebody and have him not get back up, or, you know, wobble them, whatnot. So as far as comparison's sakes, I'll kind of go over each fighter's ability, their pros and their cons. So with that said, I think Pacquiao's greatest asset is obviously his offense. He throws punches and bunches. He's a combination puncher. He has good power. He doesn't have like Provodnikov type power where he's really just knocking guys out with one punch. He's a volume puncher, which means that he likes to punch guys, and the damage that's sustained over time, you know, like the Margarito fight, he was just getting battered and beat up, and a lot of time that's what Pacquiao does, is if he doesn't knock you out, he throws so many punches until the point where one of your eyes close, or your eyes get shut, or you just can't continue, or he busts you up so bad that you have cuts all over. So that's what Pac-Man does good. He also has great footwork, likes to bounce in, bounce out. He's like almost like a little bunny rabbit where he uses his leg and his feet to close the gap, close the distance, and then shoot his combinations, and kind of jumps out where he pivots and rotates. He also likes to shoot that straight left, almost like a pot shot, kind of like what Mayweather does, where he pops his back foot up on his back heel, and then he kind of uses his speed and counter punching ability to use his pull counters to hit him with the straight right. And Pacquiao does kind of a similar version of that, where he likes to kind of bounce his head back. He likes to do a little bit of the kind of a almost like a slip, and then he shoots his left hand. So he's very good at using that as a weapon as well. His footwork, his hand speed, he has good power. The only suspect thing about Pacquiao is obviously his chin. He's fought Barrios, Bradley, where he got checked in the Bradley fight, and Algieri, which I think was a fight that should have never happened because Algieri was just not on his level. So that's a big question mark coming into this fight as well, because people understand that Mayweather has good punching power, and if Pacquiao isn't careful and uses a lot of his feints and feints too much, and Mayweather times him, he can get caught again. I don't know to the effect that Marquez caught him and knocked him out clean, but he can probably get stunned by Mayweather. I mean, you saw the Bradley fight. Bradley stunned Pacquiao with a straight right as well, and kind of Manny kind of dropped back. So I think Mayweather definitely can stun Manny. So on Mayweather's side, I think obviously Mayweather's defense is top notch. He's very hard to hit clean, and if you do hit him clean, he's prepared for it. I've seen, the same tactics with De La Hoya, Canelo, Maidana twice, where it's like just get him against the ropes and just pummel him and beat the hell out of him. And it's always like, well, that's a lot easier said than done, because Mayweather expects this from you guys. Like he knows that this is what you guys are going to try to do to him. So it's not like he's not prepared for it. Don't just watch everything you see on 24/7 and all the videos that you see online. This guy is prepared for that. I'm sure during sparring, he's telling his trainers are saying, just put him against the corner and just bang away at him. And Mayweather's probably going through it like nothing. I mean, these guys have been doing it for such a long time. So the only way I think Pacquiao can really stun Mayweather or get him is by catching him, almost like what Maidana did when he tried to do a pull counter on Maidana on the last fight, the second fight they had. And Maidana came over with overhand right and caught Mayweather flush in the belly. Luckily, Mayweather for Floyd, the end of the round just had rung, because he caught him flush, and even Mayweather kind of looked stunned and was kind of like stumbling back after that shot. So who knows what would have happened if there was still 2 minutes left. So that's the only way I think Pacquiao can really get him, because he'll throw a flurry of punches at Mayweather, but I think a lot of them will be evaded or blocked or whatnot, and Mayweather knows that's coming. And even with the speed, I think Pacquiao will probably tag him obviously a couple times in the face, into the body, but I don't know if clean enough to where it will stun Mayweather, where he'll actually feel it and drop a knee or whatnot. So he usually does that, and then he'll kind of clinch up, or he'll push off with his elbows, and then he'll rotate out and go back to the middle of the ring where he does his work. So that's what he has going for him. I think that his chin's underrated. Mosley's checked his chin. He's gotten hit by some pretty heavy hitters, even with De La Hoya. De La Hoya worked him pretty good. He got worked pretty good by Maidana twice. So I think he has an underrated chin as well. So I think if Manny does somehow is able to drop him, not necessarily knock him out, but just stun him, he's going to have to catch him at the right time. So, and Mayweather has great footwork too. So one thing Manny is so used to is a lot of his opponents were kind of come forward at you and let's meet it and just go at it. Where Mayweather is very elusive. He uses his footwork to bounce out as well and kind of circle around the ring. So I don't think Manny's definitely going to have to be able to kind of do what he did with Algieri and kind of cut the ring off and seal that off so he can do work with Mayweather. So my prediction for this fight, obviously I'm a fan of boxing. I'm a fan of both fighters. I think that Mayweather is probably going to win a decision over Manny, just for the fact that he might hit him, not might, but he probably will hit him with the more accurate punches. Manny will probably get some good volume in there. It might be a split decision, I would think, because I think Manny will land a lot more punches than Maidana will, and will be more aggressive and will cut the ring off better, and will have a higher work rate than Maidana for this fight. But I think in the end, if it goes to a decision, I just think Mayweather having a higher percentage of punches landed compared to thrown will kind of sway the judges in his favor. It's not a matter of public opinion, it's a matter of the judges' opinion on what they see. And that's what I think. Now, on the contrary, people will say, well, look at the Jose Luis Castillo fight. If you look at the punch stats after the Castillo-Mayweather fight, Castillo actually threw more and landed more, and he still lost that fight. And I still think that that's a fight Mayweather should have lost. But it just depends. The judges are the ones who see it. I mean, we've seen robberies and we've seen fights go either way, or surprise fights. The Bradley Pacquiao first fight, everybody thought Pacquiao won that, and I thought he won it too. But you never know. So hell, you never know. It might be even a shocker. They might, maybe Pacquiao doesn't do as good as we think he does, and Mayweather does better, and they give the fight to Manny. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? So there's so much money involved. There's so many things that go on in this fight. But if it were to go the way I think it's going to go, I think Mayweather wins this by split decision, if not maybe majority, and that's that. So let me know what you guys think. Whatever comments, replies you guys have, feel free to leave. We can have a good debate and conversation about this. So I'll see you guys later.